And here we are, week 12 of 2021. Some of my peers are in awe that the year is moving this fast, while others think it's just creeping along. I'm feeling like time is moving at an incredible pace. Maybe it's just that I'm trying to get so much done in a week. How about you? Well, enough all that, I guess. So I had a question, kind of more of a comment, really. A comment that, maybe many of us would have spouted out when placed in the same position. Oh man, I forgot the introductions. I'm Marty with Warehouse and Operations as a Career with you here tonight. I'm in Texas, the Dallas area actually, and we're having some of those famous Texas storms here. I hope the audio turns out all right and I'm able to get it recorded tonight. Okay, now I've lost my bullet points. Okay, so back to that question that was really more like a comment. Here's the short story. An associate, an order selector actually, an hourly order selector. In his position or at his facility, everyone kind of wears a couple of different hats. He is one of about, I think they have 7 different selectors or order pickers. Anyway, his company is getting ready for an audit, one of those industry guideline audits. So there's going to be a lot of procedures and processes being written or improved upon. Now, this facility is kept really clean to begin with. I've always been really impressed with how neat and orderly that they keep their truck yard. It's probably around 250,000 square feet, and they're really good about keeping all the bollard posts and parking light guards and the doorways painted and looking really sharp all the time. So I guess back to the comment that I received, and that's kind of the whole point of the story. Anyway, this order selector was asked to grab the touch-up paint cans and paint or cover up any scratches on all of the equipment, all the forklifts, the set-downs, and the electric pallet jacks. His comment was, and you may have already guessed where I'm headed now, his comment was that that's not my job. Well, I'm not his boss, and I don't work with him, but you can probably guess how I feel about that kind of a statement. I've always felt like that I worked for the company. Our checks, or usually our checks, doesn't say something like order selector or painter or sweeper or trash compactor cleaner on them, but I've been all of those guys before. I was being paid by the hour, and I always looked at it as my job was to do what was asked for that hour. Now, yes, there are generally going to be exceptions. The request needs to be legal, of course, and not go against any of my training. And if I was on a pay incentive program or paid by the case program, I'd bring up my pay upon hearing the request. But if I'm hourly, it's really my job anyway, right? Here's another painting story real quick. So a pedestrian walkway needed to be repainted in a warehouse. It didn't need to be laid out. The old lines were already there, easily seen and perfectly fine to be traced over. The supervisor even stated, just do the best that you can. I don't want to remove the old lines or sandpaper them, in any way. Just clean it up and spray over them, and next year we'll restripe them properly. The associate that was asked to perform the task was a long-term employee. He quit. He was very angry that his boss had asked him to do it instead of one of the new boots. I spoke with his supervisor about it and asked if he had shared why that he had been chosen, to do it. He said no, that he didn't speak to the employee directly. He had another person direct him to do the task, and that he, of course, was going to reach out to him later that day. Here's where I get to use that communication word again. Another good warehouse person resigned or lost their job because we as employees sometimes jump before thinking things through. And here's one I'll never understand. So a gentleman gave truck driving a try, worked very hard at it, earned his CDL or commercial driver's license, and went out on the road. As we've discussed here at WAOC a few times, those local delivery or route positions can be hard to come by until we've acquired a few years of experience. Now, he was out on the road for almost a full year. It just wasn't really for him. It wasn't going to work out. It didn't really work out for his family. But this story, at least up to this point, has a good ending. Upon coming off of the road, he landed a good job as a lead for an unloading or lumber company. He really loved the physical aspect of unloading, and he enjoyed being a lead. He already had his eyes on a supervisor position, and he was working pretty hard for it. Well, his boss knew that he had some driving and backing experience. One night, their spotter called in sick. He was asked to go out and kind of help out a little bit for the shift. Now, he'd been asked 3 or 4 times before to kind of fill in or go out and catch him up, so he really already knew the ropes. His answer for that night was no. He stated he did not want to go out and help, grabbed his lunch, and walked away. Oh, and here's one more real quick. How about operating a sweeper scrubber unit? If any of you are trained on that machine, I'm sure you, I'll say, dislike having to operate it, right? It's not hard or complicated, but it takes time to do it right. As you know, first we have to drive it across all the docks, down the aisles, being sure to get up against the pallet line, sweeping up all the dirt and dust. And heaven forbid our teammates failed to pick up the larger pallet pieces or empty cardboard boxes or those slip sheets, because then we have to get off the machine and move the obstacle out of our way. Then the scrubbing can take place. Man, that has to be done super slow and squeegeeing up our water trails. Not my favorite task. So an order selector had spilt some gallon cases of vinegar. I think it was 6 cases of 4 gallon at the end of the night. The sanitation crew had already entered the aisles working on all the slots. They'd already swept and scrubbed the end cap area where the spill had occurred. His supervisor asked that he go get on the unit and scrub up his mess. Now, he was trained and certified to operate it. I think he was formally a backup operator now that I'm thinking about it. Anyway, about 20 minutes later, when everyone went looking for him, he was gone, punched out and left. His supervisor had to go scrub it up. It took him 24 minutes. This gentleman quit his job of 3 years over a 24-minute task. By the way, he was an hourly employee with production pay. There were no more cases to pull, so everything would have been overtime, I was told. We named this episode This, That, and the Other because that is our jobs. I was asked by a sales associate at one of my customers this week what my job was. She said, I see you out here with people in the office or walking around in the warehouse and visiting with safety and the dispatch people all the time. I told her it's my job to make her job easier. I visit with a few of your departments to help expedite your inbound and outbound and make sure our people are helping in a safe and productive manner. She just grinned, thanked me, and went on. But isn't that what our jobs are? Distribution is inbound, storage, and shipping. Manufacturing is the inbound of raw goods, turning them into other products and shipping them to the production facilities to make something out of them. I know I simplified things a bit there, but isn't that really right? I know we each have our own tasks to perform or get done, but if we are that employee that wants to do more, go further, and earn more money, then we understand that our job is to do this, that, and the other. Oh, and real quick, I wanted to mention, I've been asked to do something on goals. Let me know how you'd like that to be presented. I'd be happy to put something together and post it on our website for a free download, or maybe a free recorded webinar even. Email us at host@warehouseandoperationsasacareer.com and let me know if you'd like it through the podcast or something free on our website. Well, I hope I at least made a point today. I know I was just kind of rambling, but gosh, our jobs are a job. We're paid to be there. Yes, of course, we're hired to our skills, but our jobs are that and this and the other. Until next week, keep an open mind. Be that person willing to do that and this, and above everything else, be safe. See y'all next week.